I didn't catch her cheating by going through her texts or checking her location. I found out because her dog wouldn't stop scratching at a door that was supposed to be empty. My name's Ethan. I'm 32 years old. Born and raised in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm a mechanic. Not the kind that runs his own shop or works on luxury imports. Just your average guy at a local garage off Hendersonville Road. Grease under my nails. Steel-toed boots, sweat-stained t-shirts. It's honest work, and most days, I love it. I've always been the quiet type. I like routine. Breakfast at the same diner every Saturday. 1 beer after work. Rewatching Parks and Rec until I fall asleep on the couch. I don't chase drama. I don't look for sins. I like to believe what people tell me. That's probably why I didn't see her coming. Her name was Madison. We met during an oil change, of all things. She drove in with this busted old Subaru and told me she liked the sound it made, like it had a soul. I laughed. Most people come in cursing their car, not complimenting it. But that was Maddie. She always found beauty in the broken. She worked at a non-profit, organizing community cleanups and food drives. She had this energy like she was always 2 steps ahead of everyone else. Talking fast, moving fast, feeling fast. I'd never met anyone like her. We started dating 2 weeks later, and within 6 months, she moved in. And then there was Cooper, our golden retriever. We adopted him from a shelter in Black Mountain. He had these sad eyes and a limp from an old injury, but Maddie fell in love with him instantly. He said he looked like he'd seen things but still wanted to love. I guess we all did. Our life together was quiet, but good. We had routines: Wednesday takeout and true crime documentaries, late-night dog walks, Sunday mornings with her favorite blueberry pancakes. She left notes in my lunchbox sometimes, dumb little drawings of Cooper wearing sunglasses or hearts next to "I love you more than coffee." I remember the first time I felt it. That shift. She started turning her phone upside down on the table. Nothing big, just subtle. I noticed her smiles got thinner, her eyes less locked on mine. She started spending more time at the office. Late at night, and when she came home, she smelled like a different cologne. Not mine, but I didn't say anything. I told myself it was work stress, that she just needed space, that maybe I was being dramatic. Then came the night she canceled our anniversary dinner, said she wasn't feeling well. I offered to bring soup. She said she needed rest, but Cooper kept pacing by the door. All night, whining, growling even. He's never done that before. It was like he knew something I didn't. I sat there on the couch, leftover candles still, flickering from the dinner I made anyway. The steak had gone cold. The wine bottle was still corked. And Cooper just kept scratching at the back hallway door. Over and over. That's when I started to feel it, not just the suspicion, but the ache. The ache of being lied to. The ache of knowing something was already broken. After that night, things didn't go back to normal. Not even close. Madison came home the next morning wearing the same clothes she'd left in. No makeup, hair pulled back in a way she never wore it around me. She smelled like hotel soap. And when I asked how she was feeling, she gave me a one-word answer. Fine. That was it. No apology for missing our anniversary. No hug. No eye contact. Just fine. I told myself not to jump to conclusions. Maybe she had been sick. Maybe she'd crashed at a friend's place to avoid spreading germs. Maybe Cooper was just being weird. Dogs do that, right? But deep down, I knew better. I started noticing patterns. Her phone was always on silent. She'd take calls outside, even in the middle of dinner. She said they were donors for her. Non-profit. Said she couldn't risk missing them. And then there was the gym. She suddenly joined one. Said she needed to feel strong again. I supported it, of course. I wanted her to be happy. But every night she came home later. Sometimes. Her hair would still be wet. Other times she smelled like men's body wash. Not something you'd pick up from a treadmill. I asked her about it once. Gently, "You're being paranoid," she snapped. "This is exactly why I don't tell you things. You always think the worst." That was the moment she flipped the script. She started accusing me of not trusting her, said I was being controlling, that I was projecting, that if I loved her, I wouldn't need to question her. So I stopped. I stopped asking, stopped checking in. I let her have her space, because that's what you do when someone you love asks you to trust them, right? But the truth doesn't care. How patient you are. It finds you anyway. One night, I noticed her Instagram was logged in on my iPad. She must have forgotten. I didn't mean to snoop. I swear to God I didn't. I just opened the app by accident while I was scrolling for a recipe. There it was. A photo of Cooper, nothing scandalous. It's just him curled up on the couch. But the caption caught my eye. Missing you already. Can't wait for the weekend. It was posted to her close friend's story. A green circle. I wasn't on that list. And it wasn't meant for me. I clicked on her messages. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped the iPad. There he was. Braden, their conversation was full of inside jokes. Pet names, plans, hotel bookings, private photos, some from our house, some from our bedroom. She wasn't just cheating. She had built another life. And then it hit me. The night Cooper kept scratching at the door. That back hallway leads to the guest room. We never use it. But it has its own entrance from the side of the house. She'd brought him here. While I was waiting with candles and steak and wine, she was 2 rooms away with him. I stared at the screen for what felt like hours. My ears were ringing. My jaw was locked. Cooper came over and rested his head on my knee. I think he knew. He always knew I didn't say anything right away. That might surprise you, but I didn't scream, didn't confront her, didn't throw the iPad across the room. I just sat there, with Cooper's head in my lap, and my heart cracking wide open. The betrayal didn't feel loud. It felt cold. Like a slow leak in your chest, you can't patch. I slept on the couch that night. She didn't ask why. She was too busy pretending everything was fine. Told me she had a team retreat the next weekend. Said she might be gone a few days. I nodded. I think I even smiled. But something inside me had already shifted. The Ethan she knew, the quiet one, the steady one, was starting to leave the building. That next week, I went into silent prep mode. I started taking pictures of the messages, the hotel reservations, the photo timestamps that lined up with nights she said she was working late. I pulled security footage from the doorbell cam she forgot we had. It caught them her letting him into the side entrance while I was at work. Him walking Cooper. Him wearing one of my old jackets. I made a folder, titled it Truth. I wasn't sure what I'd do with it yet, but I knew I'd need it. Then I started acting. Normal. I made breakfast like I always did. Kissed her on the forehead before work. Even let her borrow my car one afternoon. I played along like nothing had changed, and it killed me. Every second. But it had to look real, because the real plan was still coming together that Friday. She packed a weekend bag and kissed me goodbye, said, "I'll miss you." I nodded and told her to drive safe. She left, but this time I followed. Waited 10 minutes, then hopped in my truck and drove the back roads. Her hotel was only 40 minutes away. I knew the one she and Braden had used it twice before. According to the reservation receipts I'd found in her email, Trash Cooper rode in the passenger seat. I didn't want to leave him alone. Besides, part of me felt like he deserved to see this through too. I parked across the street, watched her car pull in, watched her get out and then watched Braden open the passenger door and grab her bag. He kissed her. She laughed. They walked in together. I waited 5 minutes, then I walked in. The front desk clerk looked up and started to greet me. I held up the spare key card I'd asked for earlier that day when I accidentally booked the same room in her name. "Room 214? Said. She nodded. All set. I took the elevator to the second floor. Heart pounding, fists tight, folder in hand. I knocked once. She opened the door wearing my t-shirt. The one she used to steal for pajama nights. Her face went pale. "Ethan, what?" Braden was behind her, shirtless, confused. I didn't yell, didn't shove past. I simply handed her the folder and said, "Cooper knew before I did. You should have trusted him." Then I turned, looked Braden in the eye and added, "Be careful where you step. He marks what's his." I could hear her gasp. I walked away before she could say anything. Back at the truck, Cooper wagged his tail once, then curled up and went to sleep. I didn't go home that night. Instead, I drove straight to my buddy Wes's place on the edge of town. It's got a spare room. And more importantly, he asks the right kind of questions, the kind you don't have to answer right away. Cooper stayed curled up next to me on the air mattress that first night, like he could still feel the tension in my spine. Like he knew I was trying not to unravel. I texted Madison the next morning. I'm safe. Don't contact me. I'll arrange to get the rest of my stuff. That was it. No long speech. No closure request. No list of everything she ruined. I didn't need her to say anything. Because I finally believed what I saw that weekend. I took back pieces of myself. I returned to the house when I knew she'd be gone and packed up what mattered. My toolbox. My dad's records. The pictures that still felt real. I'd left the rest. Let her have the cast iron pans and the throw pillows and the framed quotes she bought off Etsy. Let her have the ghost of our mornings and the coffee mugs with chipped handles. The place didn't feel like mine anymore anyway. She tried texting. A few days later, said she messed up, that it wasn't what I thought, said she'd been confused. My favorite line, we were in a weird place. I thought you didn't see me anymore. I saw her just fine. I didn't answer, but she kept trying. She sent long emails, voice notes, playlists labeled for us, said she'd go to couples therapy, said Braden didn't mean anything, said it was just emotional confusion. I blocked her. The silence didn't feel empowering. At first, it just felt quiet, hollow, like I was walking around in a version of my life with all the furniture. Moved slightly left. It took time. I picked up extra shifts. Worked on old Camaros until midnight just to keep my hands busy. Took Cooper on longer walks, eventually. Started going to a small therapy group at the community center. It's just men. All of us sitting in a circle of fold-out chairs. Pretending we weren't breaking quietly. One of the guys, Marcus, was going through a divorce. Told me something that stuck. When someone stabs you in the back, you don't pull the knife out and ask why. You patch yourself up and walk away. So I did. 3 months later, I saw Braden again. Not at a bar, not online. In my garage, he brought in a Jeep Wrangler. Needed brake work. Didn't recognize me at first. I didn't say anything until he handed me the keys. Careful, I said. Wouldn't want the brakes to fail if you're sneaking out of someone's house. He froze. Face drained. I didn't know she was. I raised a hand. I don't care. Just don't bring it back here. He nodded and walked out. Left his Jeep, took an Uber home. I waived the repair fee. Considered it paid in full. As for Madison, last I heard she moved out of town. Her nonprofit shut down. Too many people found out. Word gets around fast in Asheville. Turns out when you use retreats as cover stories, people stop trusting. You too manage charity funds, but that's not my story anymore. Mine starts with an empty truck, a loyal dog, and the sound of silence that finally feels clean. People ask if I'd ever take her back. The truth is, I don't even think about her in that way anymore. What I think about is how long I ignored my own gut. How many nights I sat in that house, talking to someone who wasn't really listening, loving someone who had already checked out. Think about the weight of pretending everything was okay just to keep the peace. I used to believe love was about giving second chances, about forgiveness, about holding on, even when your hands start to bleed now. No, I believe love starts with yourself. I'm not going to lie and say I'm healed. That's Instagram talk. I still flinch when I hear a phone buzz late at night. Still hesitate before trusting someone new. Still carry that old ache in the quiet moments. It's like when I'm making pancakes and realize I've made too many out of habit. But there's peace in the small things. Now, like how Cooper curls up by the bed instead of scratching at closed doors. Like how my mornings start without dread. Like how I no longer live with someone who makes me question my own sanity. I still go to the diner every Saturday. Still wear the same boots to work. Still catch reruns of Parks and Rec before bed. But I'm different too. I look people in the eye now. I don't apologize for my instincts. I trust silence. And I trust that if something feels off, it probably is. Funny thing is, kept one thing from that old life. A photo just Cooper and me, sitting on the front steps of the house, his head on my knee. I framed it. Let's put it on my nightstand. Not because of her, but because even in the middle of all that betrayal, my dog never lied to me. She thought I'd never know, but her dog gave her away, and I'll never ignore the truth again. If you enjoyed my story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more real-life stories like this.